Well, as you've seen, Netley Hospital has gone, but there are some who will always remain.
Since relatives claimed many of the dead for burial at home, there are only 700 First World War graves. No age group was spared, from 17 to 55, and from all parts of the Empire and Commonwealth, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, Canada, and prisoner casualties from Germany. From the time of the Crimea to the present, though the first person to be buried at Netley was a woman, Georgina Atwood, an army schoolteacher. There's the grave of 18-year-old Nora Caveney, the first ATS girl to be killed in enemy action. And the last person to be buried here, a Sergeant Eastwood of the Royal Medical Corps. It's a pleasant last resting place and beautifully kept. The 220-acre site which once housed the hospital is now the Royal Victoria Country Park, a broad, open recreational area facing Southampton Water. The creation of the park demonstrates great foresight on the part of Hampshire County Council in their determination to protect the foreshore and prevent happening here what's happened at Fawley and even at Hamble. And Hamble, as it happens, is my next stop. Hamble is all about sailing. Amongst yachties worldwide, the Hamble River is famous, and there are more boats and sailing clubs to be found here than on any other comparable stretch of water. Apart from the many moorings and yards on the Hamble where boats are kept, there are now 4 large marinas on the river. It is the Mecca for the boating tribe on the south coast. Of all the places I visited, a mere pedestrian really feels his landlubber status. If pedestrians are dry, the rest here are wringing wet. This booming yachting on the Hamble is relatively recent. Why? Well, why does anything catch on at a particular place? Certainly an explanation is deep water at all states of the tide, good shelter, and with the new motorways, it's easy to get to. In any case, the Hamble River had declined as a working river in the 1890s, when local fishermen found better pay crewing for rich yacht owners at Cowes and elsewhere. As to fishing, the crabs and lobsters for which Hamble was once known are long gone, as are the oysters. One thing that hasn't gone is the ferry, and a ferry has been crossing the Hamble on request for the past 500 years. The previous ferryman retired at the age of 82. The present incumbent, Ray Sedgwick, has only been doing the job for 28 years. And that means providing a service every day of the year. Well, that is, except Christmas Day. And what did Ray do last Christmas? He visited another ferry at Hayling Island. Unfortunately, that too wasn't running. But that didn't really worry him. Well, says Ray, who needs a holiday anyway, if you've such an agreeable job? Dirty weather for someone, if not for us. On the Warsash side, a little shelter carrying the name of the brewers who once owned the ferry.
Well, Ray, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
My next destination is Hill Head, so which way do I head?
Straight along the foreshore and pick up the Solent Way markers as you go.
So that away.
That's it.
Right, thanks very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Enjoyed the ride. Bye.
Warsash, boats again, and the scene dominated by the harbour master's office. A reminder of the Hamble's part in the D-Day invasion, a plaque on the Rising Sun pub, recalling that from here in 1944, 3,000 commandos set out in landing craft for Normandy.
Troops in the waiting trams were cheering across the roads. The sound echoed from shore to shore of the Solent. Many brave men laid down their lives next day, leading the assault on the beaches. They died for the liberation of Europe and the right of our people to live in freedom. Well, well, and that happened from here, from the Hamble.
Amongst all this boating, a memory of flying.
Next to the yacht club, in this field, now given, took off in 1913 Europe's first successful flying boat. Now, an apparent contradiction, but it used wheels to take off, to get into the air, and then came down on the water at Cowes, which makes it, I suppose, an amphibian.
But it's strictly sail power in the Hamble now, as this colourful flotilla sweeps in from the Solent, heading for their moorings, marinas, and clubhouses. For me, well, it's Shank's Pony again. And quite heavy going on the shale foreshore. It's getting to me a bit. One wreck contemplates another. But press on, ever onwards, and don't get your feet wet. This is a busy part of the Solent, and yet the foreshore is very isolated. Those two digging for lugworms are the only people I've seen in the last hour. At Hill Head, signs of human habitation at last.
No horses, no bridle path, private beach, and private beach huts, houses, huts. And even on the beach, every Englishman's hut is his castle. Marvellous names, grand names. Number 10, Arcadia. A touch of Spain there, Estoril. Bunnymead. Marvellous, great dignity. Sawfish. Calagas for sale. Ah, no, that's an advert.
Every year, 9 million of us jet abroad on package holidays to the sun, which leaves an awful lot of the rest of us soldiering on at home. Given the uncertainty of British summers, you have to admire our determination to enjoy ourselves at the seaside. Leaving Lyon Solent, I'm heading for an area which is quite unlike anything you'll find on the south coast. It's Browndown. It's all rather desolate and bleak. Distinct echoes of the Wild West and shades of high noon. In truth, it's not very inviting, and you won't find any holidaymakers here. It's a former firing range and has been used for military training for more than 300 years. Frankly, they're welcome to it. And leaving the desolation of Browndown, I'll soon be amongst the bustle of Portsmouth. But that's next.